danger and other environmental or health-related issues or problems. Now, there is another cause here is establishment of settlements along river channels. When people begin to establish settlement along river channels, they are exposing themselves to danger of flood, because at any time the river may overflow its bank, and that will be flooding, causing loss of lives and properties. Breakdown of dams and embankment. Dams that were not properly constructed, when they break down, there is usually flood or flooding in such an area. In port town planning also, strong tidal waves are also possible causes of flooding. Effects of flooding includes loss of lives and properties. So many persons have lost their lives, and properties worth billions of nairas and what have you, owing to flooding. And this could also lead to an interruption in socio-economic activities. People may not be able to attend their meetings, people may not be able to attend their businesses or to go to for their businesses when the area is heavily flooded, because even movements of vehicle and humans must have been impeded, and there's also a creation of health hazard by way of pollution. When there is flooding in an area, waterborne diseases can easily be carried out or spread over the area, and causing people to die or to be infected, and leading to loss of life and properties ultimately. Also have washing away of roads and railways and destruction of farmlands. Another environmental problem or environmental hazard we'll look at here is drought. Drought is a state of prolonged and abnormal moisture deficiency and a general state of dryness. Now, areas affected by drought over time include the Sahelian region like Mali, the South Mauritania, Burkina Faso, northern Ghana, and northern Nigeria. And drought has been found to be caused by absence of rainfall in an area where we experience little or no rainfall for so long. Is tending towards experiencing drought and a high rate of evapotranspiration. When the little water on the surface or in the river or sea evaporates so rapidly, and in turn there is no precipitation to recharge or to replenish the evaporated water from the land, this could lead to drought as well. Now, change in weather and climatic conditions can also cause drought. High daily temperature without corresponding rainfall is another cause of drought. So let's consider effects of drought. When we have drought in an area, what are possible effects of what could it lead to in that area? One is that drought can lead to crop failure. Of course, lack of moisture. Moisture is one very component of one requirement, basic requirement for the growth of plants. So when it is deficient or lacking in an area, ultimately we have crop failure in that area. Now, we also have that streams or rivers may dry up. And when this happens, transportation by water is affected. And also some persons may run bankrupt because they will lose their jobs, like fishermen, boat builders, etc. This also affects man and animals. When there is no water to tap, ready water to tap for drinking and other domestic activities, in a way it has affected man. And not only man, but animals also, because they also depend on water for good living. Drought also leads to migration of man and animals. Certainly people will want to leave that area to another area in search of green pasture, in search of better way of living. So this is also one effect of drought in an area. It leads to desertification and scarcity of food. How can we control it? So let's look at few ways of controlling drought in our area. 1, by afforestation. 2, by irrigation, cover cropping, and avoiding overgrazing. Let's look at environmental pollution. Pollution refers to the release of substances into the environment. Environment here could be air, it could be water, or even land, in such quantities that are harmful to man, plants as well as animals. The substances that cause pollution in an environment are usually referred to as pollutants. There are types of environmental pollution. We have the air pollution, land pollution, and water pollution. So we take air pollution. Air pollution refers to the release of substances into the air in quantities that are harmful to man, animal, and plants. And these usually caused by the discharge of substances like smoke, dust into the air. Now, it's also caused by fumes released from industries and a poor refuse disposal. When waste are disposed in an improper way, they have a way of polluting the air because of the bad odor which they will exude into the air, thus polluting the air and making it irritating to man. Also release of gases like the sulfur dioxide, the carbon monoxide, etc. into the air. All these can also cause air pollution. The effects of air pollution, we have 1, there is health problems. Example, lung and skin cancer. Air pollution can lead to lung cancer. When this polluted air is taken in, it can cause a lot of health problems like lungs cancer and skin cancer. There is a formation of a thin layer on leaves, and this leads to reduction in transpiration. Also, we have air pollution causes acid rain, which can corrode materials and burn green plants. It also causes suffocation and destruction of the ozone layer. The layer that the thin layer within the atmosphere, which shields the earth from the direct or the harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun. So when the air is polluted, it gradually depletes this layer, thus exposing the earth to the danger of the UV light that comes from the sun. And it also affects the plant growth and aquatic lives. How can we control air pollution? This could be done by making sure that industries, are sited far away from residential areas, so that if there is mismanagement in disposal of the waste from the industries, it will not have a direct impact on people who are living around because it is located far away from residential areas. Also, chemical waste should be discharged into the air through what we call fume chambers. And legislation on air pollution should be strictly followed and adhered. There should be proper education on waste disposal. People should be made to understand the dangers involved in disposing waste indiscriminately in the environment, and also possible ways should be, suggested or enacted in order to dispose this waste effectively. Now there should be waste recycling. Many of the things we call waste are actually raw materials. if they are properly managed. They could be turned into raw materials that are very useful for the production of new products or for the making of new products. In this way, we are not only avoiding air pollution, we are also avoiding exploitation of natural resources. Resources that would have tapped to create new products or to make new products will be conserved, while the ones already made, which have been turned to waste, will now be recycled and made or used as raw materials for the making of new products. Let us look at land pollution. Land pollution has to do with the release of substances in quantities that are harmful to man, animals, and plants. For instance, we have oil spillage, application of fertilizers,